car rental and free oil changes. Dial 800-279-2827 and never pay for car repairs again. Dial 800-279-2827.
Welcome to a place where everyone deserves to be better protected, where technology has your back, where you can have better protection and keep more money in your pocket, where you can have protection for your car, your home, your phone, and even your digital identity. Welcome to a place where your entire life can be better protected. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Allstate and affiliates offer products and services subject to availability, terms, and conditions. Get that satisfying crunch. Now with 20% more honey. Try a delicious Nature Valley Oats and Honey Crunchy Bar with more of the honey you love.
Did you know there's more than one Las Vegas? There's the Strip with families on vacation and questionable odds. And there's downtown Vegas, the original gambling and entertainment mecca. That's where you'll find the D Las Vegas. Book your stay today at thed.com. The D Las Vegas, your home for Detroit sports in Vegas.
Get the best bets for the biggest matchups, plus updates on betting trends before the games start. You better you bet from BetQL. Get it on the Odyssey app live, weekdays 3 to 7.
Haven't won a football game yet this season. They're 0-5. Yeah, sorry to break that news to you. You're just waking up from a coma. They are not good. They might not win a game this season. I know you got to shoot the boot on it, Gator. They're going to win it. You think this week could be the game. And for people who think that's crazy, I've presented something that people have thought is crazy too. I think this has been a good season so far. The last 3 weeks specifically, the defense has been an abomination. They've hung in these games, they've given themselves a chance, and they've lost because the offense is sputtering. And there's value in knowing you don't have a QB injury. I told you before the year, I thought the dream scenario was the defense is better at the end of the season than they start. They don't have great players, but it would mean the coaching staff's getting something out of who they have. They're scheming appropriately. They're not sitting back in that same man-to-man single high stuff that Patricia would have them in. Mix it up. Put guys in position to be successful. And if you end up losing the majority of the games, and you know you need to make a change in QB, that's a win to me. That's an ideal season given what they were playing with back a month ago.
I think there's plenty of blame to go around with why they've lost, and the last couple of weeks, last 3 weeks when they've been in these games, yeah, the offense hasn't done enough. In the end, the defense
saying you don't want effort. To be very clear, you want to do what the Pistons did a year ago, where you try real hard, but you have an arm tied behind your back and you lose a lot of games.
It's not
They've
tanking.
done that so
It's-
far.
Pistons tank. What the Lions doing is the rebuilding. The Pistons tank when they took guys, literally would take guys out of the game and do the load management thing. That's tanking, and they did it brilliant. In the NFL, I mean, tank job is up with the Dolphins did a few years ago. The Lions are doing it's a clear rebuild. But the moment you traded Matthew Stafford and got the picks and Jared Goff in return, you knew it was a rebuild. So I think it's just a different kind of verbiage with it. But I don't want them to be winless going into the game next week when they take on Los Angeles, when we all feel like they're going to get throttled, and that's really going to be down on them. And then to be 0-7, and then looking at Philadelphia like, can we please beat
You
Philadelphia?
catch a break, then you
I
got
mean,
a bye week, then you don't play until the middle of November.
right. The longer it takes, I think the bigger toll it takes on this team, and I think it's just normal psychology. Sunday's the day.
Sunday's the day, says Gator. What say you? 248-539-9797. Couple ticket texts I want to respond to. This one says, Costa, you're stupid. It says, the Lions defense has allowed teams to march into field goal range and beat them. Yeah, but look at these games. They're getting up 19 points, 24 points, 19 points. They're losing because the offense can't average 17 a game right now. I'm not putting this on the defense.
Are you being a little unfair because you're putting it all on Goff, and yet there's no receiver.
I feel like you're putting. Listen,
The
I'm
dude
not a
can't
golf
handle,
guy.
he can't handle the blitz. He can't hold on to the football. He can't throw down the field. He's not very
And then
good.
you mentioned they throw mostly on the fourth and third down critical situations.
They
at
give him the
game,
ball and he
right?
falters. Yeah.
Well, your boy Campbell, what you like, is giving him the keys. Shouldn't he be calling some run plays on these third, fourth, and shorts?
If you want him to call the game differently because he has a bad quarterback, fine. I want him to call the game aggressively, and if his team falls short, it goes right back to what I was
You can't
saying.
have it both ways.
Why
If you
not?
know your player can't do it, don't call it.
I want to see them fail this season because it's a lost season so that I can evaluate it and go to the off season with actual
But do you
things to
think-
evaluate.
Do you think Campbell's calling it like that? Because he's not. My man was crying because they lost the game. They're trying to win games.
He wants them to fight hard, and they're fighting hard. By
And
the
he
way,
wants to win games.
he does, but they got an arm tied behind their back. Jared Goff's their QB, and their defense is what it is, and their receivers are who they are. And
Then hand off the ball on fourth and short.
I'm just saying.
I don't disagree with the game philosophy of if you're trying to win, run the ball. Fine.
I think the bigger arm being tied around behind their back is the receiver room. It's not the quarterback. I think the quarterback isn't a solution, but I think the bigger problem is.
The bigger problem may be the
nowhere to throw
receivers,
to.
but Goff is also part of the
Well,
problem.
I'm not saying and again. Yeah, he is, but is the bigger problem that they got nobody to throw?
Hey,
to?
you know what? All those guys ain't going to be here. The quarterback, the receiving rooms, it doesn't matter.
Ken, you brought up Campbell crying, and I'm sure you guys talked about it earlier in the week.
Well, my point is he's trying to win games. He's not just, who cares? Let's be aggressive.
I'm not going to say
Players and the coaching staff are not taking your
no, they're not. And what I'll say about Campbell and the emotion, right? Some people loved it, some people didn't like it. I think it's clear he has his players back. And in a season where Gator, whether you think they win this weekend or not, they're not going to win very many games. I think that's telling because you don't want to lose the locker room. I'm not saying crying leads to wins in this league, but I'm saying caring about your players, that goes a long way in a season where we don't think they're going to win very much. That, to me, is why it mattered. Because he's not going to lose that locker room.
And I guess, because I can just see you sitting across from me, and I can see that you're getting when you're talking about that they're losing and that you love that they're 0-5. They'll lose plenty of games this year. I don't need to be happy about it. They're going to lose plenty without my emotional investment into it. You know what I mean? So let them play the games after, you get through to the bye week and you got 3 games left before the bye week. So they're likely to be, there's 8 games there. They're likely to be 1-7. Outside chance 2-6. That's plenty of losing. And then the losing will come shortly after that. We don't have to worry about it. But he does. The biggest thing he has to do as the head coach right now, and he's done a great job of it, is win over the team. But the hardest work is still yet to come because there's going to be plenty more losing to come for this team. He has to hang on to that and keep this team following him as Brad Holmes is able to go through another offseason and say, okay, we need more turnover. We're bringing in these free agents. We're targeting these guys in the draft, and we're going to have this turnover in the roster, and it's going to be completely different in a couple of years. But they need to find the guys, those core guys that truly believe in Dan Campbell. And right now, it looks like the whole team believes in Dan Campbell. It's good, but will that change if they keep losing?
And that's why you're looking at this weekend. Let's go to Paul and Davidson. Paul, you're on 97.1.
Hey, how's it going, guys? How you
All right,
doing? I
want, but the 2 of the last 3 games, they had the lead with seconds to go.
Hey, well, again, I took the point spread both weeks and the money line, so I'm a little salty about that, but I hedged my bet with the point
Oh,
spread.
congratulations.
Well, at least you're happy.
Glad things worked out for you in the betting.
That's phenomenal. Dave in Clinton Township. Dave, you're on 97.1.
Hey, fellas, you talk about defense improving and the coaching and the coaching staff not losing the team and coaching to win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to call it the defensive coordinator a little bit. In the 5 games they played, not once has the quarterback come to the line of scrimmage, come to the defense, been confused, and had to call a timeout.
I don't know if that's true or not, but in your eyes, if that's what's happened, that's what's happened. Okay.
Well, do you think of a time where that's happened?
I can't, but I don't know if that's something I would be paying attention to, is to see if the quarterback will win it. I'm confused.
But, so when you talk about, like load management with the Pistons and coaching the team a little bit differently, so I don't know if he holds back or like if he was right, when he said it when they were playing the Ravens, I played the same way. Well, he played it the same way in Minnesota.
Yeah, and that's what the pushback I have with Aaron Glenn as well, is that you saw what happened at the end of the Baltimore game, and he said he played exactly the same way, and sure enough, the same situation comes up. They played it the same way, and it didn't work. And I understand when Dan Campbell comes out and he'll defend that and say, well, look, the play is designed where we have a guy who's supposed to help out in that situation specifically with covering Adam Thielen. Mm-hmm. And what happened was he, as I believe the term Dan Campbell said was, took the cheese and came up and tried getting the receiver that was just 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. Made a mistake, horrible mistake, and may have cost him the game because he wasn't in that situation. Now it's different in the Baltimore game because that was 4th and 19. The Lions get off the field on that, and it's game's over.
Yeah.
This was like a second down play or first down play, whatever it was. But nonetheless, I'm not happy that Aaron Glenn did that.
248-539-9797. Talking about the Lions head of the Bengals game, looking for their first win still. How do you feel about 0-5, and how do you feel about Sunday specifically? Before the hour ends, want to get Gators' thoughts, Michigan State fans' thoughts on a potential trap game this weekend. It's 97.1.
When you run a business, setbacks change everything. And online, they happen fast. With your Comcast Business Internet, you can stay ahead. And now you can add Comcast Business Security Edge to make your network more secure. It helps keep your network safe with scans every 10 minutes. And unlike some cybersecurity options, this helps protect every device that's connected. Because when your information, your people, and your company have Security Edge, you can be ready for what's next. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with a great offer for $35 each month for 24 months for 2 years when you buy both. Want even more speed? Find out how to get 10 gigs for your small business. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go to ComcastBusiness.com today to find out more. Offer ends 11/7/21. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 35 megabits per second internet and one plus mobility customers only. Early termination fee applies. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Security Edge not included.
TJ Lang here. Thank Barstool Sportsbook at Greektown Casino, your football headquarters this season. Place your sports bets 24/7 on the casino floor or watch and wager at the brand new Sportsbook. Score big with over 40 sports betting kiosks and 5 wagering terminals. With over 40 HD TVs, a 30-foot multi-screen video wall, and a real-time sports ticker, there's nowhere better to catch the game. Get all the action in the best odds in town at Greektown Casino. Grab the crew, grab your buddies, some tasty food, and place a bet on all your favorite sports teams. You can also place wagers on the Barstool Sportsbook app. It features more ways to bet with live in-game wagering, prop bets, and daily picks from your favorite Barstool Sports personalities. And now, introducing Parlay Plus. Parlay wagers within the same game and across multiple sports. Download and register for the Barstool Sportsbook app today and get started with $1,000 in the new player bonus. If your first bet loses, get 100% back in bonus cash. Must be 21. Terms subject to change. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117.
I'm Serena Williams. You watch me live on TV.
And I'm the girl from that alien movie you watch on demand. Our worlds have been brought together thanks to DirecTV Stream.
Why are you whispering?
Because the alien will hear us.
Maybe let the alien know you can get DirecTV Stream with no annual contract.
He seems pretty excited by that, actually.
Introducing TV and on demand with no annual contract. Get your TV together at DirecTV.com.
Requires high-speed internet incompatible device. Content varies by package and location. Restrictions apply.
Get Macy's lowest prices of the season on furniture, mattresses, and rug specials. Get back on the Lively fabric sofa for $579. Sit down to the new Aberdeen 5-piece dining set, now $1,049. And stretch out on the Canyon Queen bed, just $339. Plus, get 50 to 60% off select Simmons and Sealy mattresses. Going on now at Macy's. Savings on sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
Buddy's Pizza, the birthplace of the original Detroit-style pizza, is proud to celebrate 75 years in the Motor City. Download Buddy's Rewards from your app store today to receive exclusive offers and earn points on purchases at all 19 Buddy's Pizza locations. Football is back. 97.1 The Ticket has you covered all game day. Tune in starting at 10 a.m. for all the pregame action, followed by the game on 97.1 The Ticket. After the game, Pat Caputo will be broadcasting live from Ford Field in the WinBet Sports Bar. For all postgame action, go to 97.1theticket.com.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Mike Papuro of National Benefit Plans. For affordable health insurance, call 877-734-2200.
Necessary Roughness with former NFL lineman TJ Lang and John Jessen. Download it today on the Odyssey app.
Jim Costa in for Doug Karsh today. We got a Karsh Anderson quiz. Your chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Red Wings tomorrow. Answer to the question is something we say during the show. You win those tickets at 12:55. Before this hour ends, what's the concern level from Gator and from Michigan State fans as they go on the road and play the Hoosiers tomorrow? Bloomington. We'll get to it. 248-539-9797. We're talking Lions fans. You're 0-5. Are you happy with the season? Because I've made the case that, yes, I'm happy with this season. They got a coach who's aggressive, a coach who fights for his players. I'm not going to hold the emotion against him. I think that's critical to not losing a locker room in a season where you're going to lose a lot of football games. And I'm okay with losing a lot of football games. Because I want the draft position. I want a real rebuild. I want the defense to get a little better. We've seen signs of growth this season. Baltimore game, the Bear game, last week against the Vikings. I don't know how that game was a one-score game for most of the second half. I guess the answer is the defense. So I'm not at all shaken or broken by how this season's gone. I'm actually pretty pleased because I think the biggest thing holding them back right now is Jared Goff. Agree or disagree, that's fine. But I think it helps answer the question of whether or not he's the quarterback of the future. He fumbles, turns the ball over, boneheaded interceptions. They're struggling to score more than 17 points the last 4 weeks. So I'm okay with the direction this thing is going.